Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger.
Welcome once again to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger, the podcast where we watch an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and then we talk about video games.
Do we? That would be alright, I guess.
Yeah, let's do that. Can we do that instead this
Did
time?
you finish Assassin's Creed Unity?
Not yet. I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Although Sarah and I just finished the Guardians of the Galaxy playset on Disney Infinity. That was really fun.
Sure.
We had a good time.
Yep.
Sarah played Groot.
I am Groot.
Yeah.
Sarah's here, guys.
I'm here. Yep, I now know how to Xbox.
You do. You Xbox with the best of them. Or with me, as the case may be. So we
I
have...
think we actually have to talk about the show.
Oh.
Matt, where can people find us?
At our website on the internet, which is www.rangerdangerpodcast.com. That's our website. If you want to send us an interweb mail, you can interweb mail us at rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, you can.
If you want to send us a Twitter tweet, you can do that at RangerDcast.
Yep.
We're also on iTunes and on Facebook and on Stitcher and on YouTube and on Google+.
Yep.
That's a lot of things.
It's
And
a
we've
lot.
got a shop.
We have a shop.
rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop.
That's right.
You can get some rad things.
That's what we do. We provide you rad things. Very rarely we ask you money for it.
This time we are asking money for it.
Just to clarify, that's right.
Because it is a shop.
That's right.
But it comes with amazing customer service.
Well, I mean, we don't provide the customer service, so...
Oh.
But I'm sure the people who do a great
Yeah,
job.
I believe Society 6's customer service is pretty solid.
That's right.
I will say, I haven't quite set up the shop yet, but it'll be set up by the time you're hearing all of this. If there's anything that's not on our shop that you would like on our shop, like if we're not selling any shower curtains yet, if you would really like a shower curtain, shoot us an email or a Facebook message or a tweet, let us know, and we'll talk with Ash and we'll get that set up. It's not a lot of extra work to do that. We
need to know what you want.
Need to know what you want. So if there's anything in particular that you'd like from what we've got and what's available, and it's not currently available, please let us know, and we will do our best to make that happen.
We'll make it happen, absolutely.
We would like to take your money. And your joy and warmth and all of that stuff.
That's right, but we want to take your joy.
In this context.
Why would you say that?
No, we don't. We want to share your... Oh, forget it. Anyway, this is episode 70. It's called Welcome to Venus Island. It's the first episode written by Judd Lynn.
That is correct.
Matt, can you explain to the listeners who may not know why that is the most exciting sentence we've said on the show?
Yeah, so Mr. Judd, sometimes known as Chip Lynn, is a gentleman who started as a producer on Power Rangers, went on to write a few episodes, and then quite a bit later on went on to become one of the show's main writers and showrunner.
Yeah, so he was a writer and producer in the early days. He actually directed the second unit scenes for the Turbo movie. So if you're not familiar, second unit is not like the main scenes that happen, but often stunt scenes or things that don't involve the main actors, location shots sometimes.
Yeah, basically the backup crew.
All the stuff that can get done while your main actors are
doing
the big important stuff.
So he went on to write, it was pretty much all the Power Rangers in space.
Basically from mid-Turbo up until the end of Time Force, which is about 200 episodes. There's something like 20 episodes that he doesn't write or co-write.
That's right. So he was the creative force behind it, basically.
For a very long time.
And it also happened to be the probably best stretch of Power Rangers.
Easily, it's not even a question.
So you guys are fans then?
I think you cannot possibly be a fan of Power Rangers and not be a fan of Judd Lynn.
Yeah, even if you don't know it necessarily.
Yes, he left after Time Force for a while. He came back for RPM, which is generally considered the best season after Time Force. And he's coming back for Dino Charge.
That's right.
Which is incredibly exciting for us.
We'll be watching some Judd Lynn episodes brand new very soon.
Yes.
But this is the first one he wrote, so we'll get to see where it all began.
Yeah, we will.
Speaking of where it all began, this is also an episode that I distinctly remember from my childhood. And also, interestingly enough, led me to be very interested in Venus flytraps. and think they're really cool.
Okay, so we've got an email to get to, but I want to do this first.
Yes.
You think you remember this episode?
Yeah.
Can you give us a synopsis?
Oh, God, no. I only have vague memories of a big Venus flytrap.
Okay.
A tropical island.
Okay.
Someone getting trapped somewhere.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I think I could have done that from the title.
Yes. But, like, I think once I watch it, I'll have a lot of like, oh, yeah.
Sure. Okay. So I think we should get to this email now.
Yeah.
It is from Kelsey.
Oh, Kelsey.
Hi, Kelsey.
Ranger Danger fan, Kelsey?
Yep. Long time emailer, first time nothing really. This is multiple times. Matt, if you just want to, I don't know, read that out.
Yeah, all right. Big email from Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey says, hello again. Just writing in to tell you that I've still been enjoying listening to the podcast every week. No matter where I am, I always listen to it the day the episode comes out. Even when I was in Disney World, which I'm willing to claim to be the first person to listen to the show there.
I'm
Wow.
willing to certainly agree with that.
Yeah.
So cool.
That is cool. Well, thank you very much, Kelsey. That really does mean a lot to us. She's been re-listening to old episodes since she recently suffered a knee injury. Oh, that's not good.
I hope you're okay, Kelsey.
And have discovered that an episode of the podcast is roughly as long as my physical therapy. Oh, there you go. Glad we could provide that service. After doing so, I've got some thoughts/things for you. All right. First of all, I might have made this supercut of every time you've called the podcast Mighty Morphin something danger in the first season.
Okay, so Matt, I think we're going to pause, and I've got that here, and we're going to listen to it.
Okay.
And we'll come right back.
What?
There's a bit more in that paragraph.
Okay, finish the paragraph then.
I've actually had this done since episode 60 aired. My computer died and I couldn't retrieve the file. Okay. Let's
go. One day, someone who loves this show is going to go back and do a supercut of all the shows that we've said it is.
Yeah.
Mighty Morphin Doctor Who.
That's right.
Danger. Mighty Morphin Frankenstein Danger. Fashion Danger. Exterior Decoration Danger. Animorph Danger. Environmental Danger.
Garbage Danger. Mighty Morphin Education Danger.
Gardening Danger. Mighty Morphin X-Men Danger.
Mighty Morphin Scuba Danger.
Mighty Morphin Skating Danger. Mighty Morphin Chili Danger. Mighty Morphin Heist Danger. Mighty Morphin Linguistics Danger.
Mighty Morphin Relationship Danger. Mighty Morphin Game Show History Danger.
Yes, Mighty Morphin Pager Danger. Mighty Morphin Architecture Danger.
Mighty Morphin Biology Danger. Ranger Danger Cinematography Danger. Mighty Morphin School System Danger. Yeah.
So I think if we've learned anything, it's that I need to not lean on that joke quite so heavily.
No, it's amazing.
That's so cool.
Mighty Morphin Pager Danger made me actually cry with laughter.
Well, I think that really takes me back because I don't go back and listen. I don't listen to the episodes at all, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was actually touching.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. We will have cut that into that episode somehow, so you, I'm sure, will be able to hear it.
Yeah.
And we'll put a link up to Kelsey's YouTube.
Yeah. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Kelsey. Back to the email. Next, my local YMCA is adding an addition, which includes a juice bar. That's amazing.
I have a question.
Yes.
This has just reminded me of. I drove past our local YMCA yesterday.
Yep.
I remember going to the YMCA as a kid. We went and played in the foam pit and did gymnastics there.
Yeah.
At school, it was once a week we'd go there. What does a YMCA offer to an adult?
I don't know.
Do you have any idea what a YMCA actually is?
I couldn't tell you. No, I couldn't tell you what it is. I couldn't tell you what they do. I couldn't tell you where their funding comes from. I couldn't tell you that they're not some sort of paramilitary organisation.
All I know is that it's fun to stay at the YMCA. That's the only thing I know about the YMCA.
I'm sure that's the reason why they've never rebranded.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you lose all the power of that song. I don't know. I guess we'll have to do some YMCA research.
I've never been to a YMCA in all my life.
They've repainted it, and there's a new crossing. There's a new traffic light, so it's easier to get to. And
in the town I grew up, Queanbeyan, I knew where it was,
right,
and I was very familiar with it because it was a big, bright red building. Mm-hmm. Never went there. Don't know anything about it.
I just,
So your school was involved in it?
It was once a week. When you were a kid, you'd go to the local pool for swimming lessons. It was the equivalent of that. We'd go to the YMCA once a week, and they teach us how to do what are those rolls where you curl up into a ball?
Somersault?
No, on the ground.
Curly whirlies?
Forward roll. I don't think they're called curly whirlies. A curly whirly is a chocolate and caramel product.
I have a question.
Oh, roly-poly?
YMCA, an acronym, yeah?
Yes.
What does it stand for?
Young Men's Christian Association.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That answers a lot of questions right off the bat.
Well, I think certainly in the old days it was a place where young Christian men could go and
be young
wrestle
Christian.
each other, I guess. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
I've always thought it was something to do with men's stuff.
I had no idea. I just assumed it was some sort of like gymnastics organisation. Really.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
I think it's only fair that we look it up.
Should I?
While I look it up, please keep reading, and
Yeah.
then we'll get back to it.
Okay, so the YMCA includes a juice bar. It's the closest thing to a gym/juice bar that Kelsey's aware of in her area. She says, I hope to use it to its full potential. Do gymnastics, practice karate, order some juice, fight some putties, the normal activities that occur in such a place.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that one of those things will exist in the real world.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. Do you have the information yet, Michael?
I do. So let's talk about the YMCA on Mighty Morphin YMCA. God damn it. Okay. It's the Young Men's Christian Association.
Yeah.
It was founded by a man named George Williams
Yep.
in 1844.
Wow.
In London, and the aim was to put Christian principles into practice by developing a healthy body, mind, and spirit.
To put Christian principles into young men?
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's also the YWCA, which is the Young Women's.
Yep.
Basically, he and his colleagues were concerned about the lack of healthy activities for young men in major cities. Their options were taverns and brothels, basically. And I think you can understand why, like, a good, upstanding Christian man might think maybe we should find something else for the young men to do, other than drink and whore around.
Yeah.
So he held meetings for prayer and Bible reading among his fellow workers.
Yeah.
And the idea was that, it was a place where everyone could kind of get together and do those things. So by 1851, only 7 years later, they were in the UK, Australia, Belgium, Canada, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and the US.
Jesus.
So there was clearly, like, a requirement for something for those young men to do.
Yeah. And I guess gymnastics is one of those things that they need to do.
Yeah, certainly. So these days,
not much.
In Great Britain, it's primarily perceived as a place for homeless young people, which is interesting.
That's not my association with it.
No, I don't know if it's like that here.
Yeah.
It appears to be a vast organisation with. It has a history in Panama.
Right, and presumably they don't pay taxes.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess like functionally a charity of sorts. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
All right, that's Mighty Morphin YMCA Danger.
Yeah.
All right, back to Kelsey's email. She says, I really enjoyed your special chimp change, which is nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It would have made a very well-written episode of the show. My favourite line was the direction, what's that sound? It's the sound of a trombone and all the joy being sucked out of the room. Yep,
I'll take credit for that one.
That was Michael.
That was great.
I think it's actually like the first line I wrote, basically.
Kelsey says, I've known a few trombone players who that describes nicely.
Aww.
She says, I also think I have an idea as to how Rick and I could resolve our differences.
Okay, so Kelsey and Rick, who are both big fans of our show, are apparently arch nemesis.
That's right. We've had created monsters.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, basically, in the Power Rangers theme, there's occasionally a little trumpet fill, and we asked our listeners if they were pro or anti-trumpet, and Kelsey and Rick are pro and anti-trumpet.
Right.
And that's not the first line of division they have fallen on opposite sides of when we've asked for people's opinions.
Yes, so they've decided that they're arch nemesis. It'll be interesting to see where they come down on the lose one hand or both your feet.
That's right. I'm curious about that as well. So, back to how they can resolve the differences. Kelsey says, okay, we need a scale model set, a giant robot costume, and a giant monster costume. Just have the two of us fight. Clearly the anti-trumpet / Stitcher, because...
Stitcher is one of the other things that they disagree on.
Yeah.
Whether it exists or not.
Is the things... Stitcher is the thing side will win. The biggest issue I can see with this idea, aside from the damage that would likely cause from fighting, is that Rick and I live halfway around the world from each other.
I mean, that is certainly going to be an issue.
Yeah.
I think one day when we have a Ranger Danger convention, that will be the main attraction.
Kelsey versus Rick.
Yep.
Fight probably to the death.
A decade-long feud.
Yeah.
Or perhaps we could do some team building.
No.
And you know...
Sarah, are you watching Power Rangers with us? Are you paying
All
attention?
problems are solved by fighting a giant monster and punching it in the face until it dies.
A lot of that is, like, in my head commentated by lots of meowing. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
When you say commentated by, you mean entirely replaced by, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of glaze over and then you hear meows and your mind wanders.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person, I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but when there's any fight scene, any movie, anything, except for when we're playing Xbox last night, I was engaging in that. But otherwise, if there's a fight scene going on, I tune out. It's so boring. I'm thinking about the shopping or something else, and then I'll just let me know at the end who wins, and then I'll come back in and I'll watch the show.
No, that's just you.
For me, I just...
I suspect it's not just Sarah, but yeah, that's not something...
Just tell me who wins. I don't care.
I do, when there's a fight that I don't properly understand the stakes or the motivations or what people are fighting for, I do get a bit that way.
And it's so smashy.
But that's a poor
It's so
fight
smashy.
scene, not just a fight scene.
Like a fight scene, like anything in a narrative, should be an expression of the desires of the people involved.
Absolutely.
The more extreme the fight scene that gets, the more bored I am.
When you say extreme, because
like
in Pacific Rim, they fly up into space and then shoot a sword out of their hand and cut a monster in half. Is that too extreme?
Like when we go to the movies and I see big, even like Guardians of the Galaxy, I love that film, but the bigger the production, the more I tune out.
Yeah, I think it's just you.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So anyway, that's why I want love and peace to bed.
Because it's boring to you.
Because
that
what?
suddenly became a lot less... No, because fighting is boring to you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's not because you'd like love and peace.
No,
it's because the
it's
option is
everything
just
else is
uninteresting.
boring.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys think a lot of me.
You said all of the things. We just
I think
interpreted
you
the things.
misinterpreted them.
Back to the email, Kelsey says, finally, I have a question. Given the budget of the show, if you could have a season of Power Rangers that could take place in any location...
On top of a volcano.
What location would you choose?
Like an active volcano, and in the finale it explodes and kills everyone.
Personally, I would set it at a boarding school. It would explain the utter lack of adult figures, aside from a teacher and a principal. It would make sense... the lack of different sets, a classroom, a lounge, one dorm room set that could have decorations that changed, and you could claim that that's any one of the Rangers rooms.
Yep.
And boarding schools are a thing that's often over-romanticised in American media. And then Kelsey says she looks at the entire shelf of books about that very thing.
Sure.
That's absolutely a perfect setting.
Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, from, Harry Potter to... You could think of a million examples.
But you can't think of any others right now, can you? That's why you said Harry. Yeah, okay.
Or the new Batman Universe comic.
Gotham Academy.
That's it. It's obviously a ripe setting.
Yeah.
The Edith Blyton novel, The Naughtiest Girl in School.
There we go.
There you go. That's the third most famous example.
I don't know where that came from.
Do you like the Power Rangers being students?
I'm okay with it.
Do you prefer it to the Power Rangers being adults with jobs?
I will take either role, provided that it's executed properly.
Sure.
I think, and this does kind of, MMPR that is, kind of miss it a bit.
Yes.
Not play up the whole, Spider-Man-esque...
Yes, great power, great
trying
responsibility.
to weigh
balancing.
Having a personal life with the responsibilities of being a superhero, which is where I think
That's the appeal of having them be students.
That's right. But then if you do adults, I think you also have to sort of take advantage of that situation.
Sure.
Have them have adult lives that need sort of...
I think a lot of the times when they've been kind of older people, and they're normally not 40-year-olds, they're early 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
They're members of an organisation which has the job of managing the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
When they're, I think, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, RPM, they're all kind of big,
organisations that are dedicated to saving the world.
and have Power Rangers on their...
Yeah, and I like that idea, because it's very much in that Thunderbirds, International Rescue
Matt
mode.
loves Thunderbirds.
I love Thunderbirds. Where their job is to protect the planet. And I like that.
Yep.
And I think that although obviously you can't get that job in your life, there is an aspirational quality to it.
Sure.
Where it's I could grow up and really try and make a difference in the world.
Yeah,
To the
absolutely.
point where that's my whole job.
Yep.
And I like the idea of that.
Yeah, well, you can be a professional rescuer,
You absolutely
Yeah,
can.
but you don't get to transform into a superhero and punch a monster in the face.
Maybe in your mind.
I mean, I already get to do that in my mind, and I'm a web developer, so...
So yeah, I like that. But setting. So you said active volcano.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fond of active volcanoes.
So, do they live on the volcano?
Yeah, of course.
Have you been to one before?
No. Active volcanoes are terrifying.
Well, you can go to, there's places in New Zealand Zealand that have like those.
There you go. It's in New Zealand. It's that easy.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of like a beach themed.
I think I want to say Ninja Storm.
Okay.
I think it's Ninja Storm. It might not be Ninja Storm. I'm sure someone will write in and tell us if I'm wrong.
What I would like to see is taking it out of this time period. And of course, that was the promise of Time Force that was never really fulfilled.
Oh no, Time Force is set in 2001.
Yeah.
It's just small parts of it that are set in 3001 or something
Exactly.
dumb like that.
Whereas I don't see why we can't... I mean, it would cost slightly more. But
SPD and RPM are both set in the future.
Okay.
I thought there was another one, but I've gone blank.
Is there anything set in the past?
We do go to the past in Mighty Morphin for a bit.
We did get some Wild West Rangers.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So that's exciting.
There's never been like a full series set in the past, like Power Rangers Mad Men.
Yes, please.
They just wear suits and are horrible to women. It's imagine just the Power Rangers, but with suits on top of their costumes.
That would be great.
That would be great.
I do think that they sometimes aren't creative enough with the Japanese footage in taking it away. Like I was thinking the other day that there's no reason you couldn't, for example, at the start of the season have like two brothers that are both by some sort of accident or event get the Red Ranger power.
Yep.
And then when they morph, they have to choose one or the other or argue or whatever about who does the morphing. And then maybe later on in the season when you get the Sixth Ranger...
One of them gets that.
Yeah. And that wouldn't be precluded by the footage at all.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying there's a lot
Because
of...
every time you cut, their face is obscured, so you just say it's
The other one.
Derek or Jonas.
Derek or Jonas?
Derek and Jonas. Those are the two Red Rangers, Matt.
All right, write it down.
Derek and Jonas Rangers.
In 2018, when we're Power Rangers writers, you'll see Derek and Jonas.
Yep.
Oh boy. So yeah, that's...
I mean, look, Matt, I think the real answer is now you're paying two guys to be the Red Ranger, when before you were paying one.
But at some point you've got to have a Sixth Ranger,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
So, I mean, you have to pay him for a little bit longer, but... Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm just saying...
Okay.
You could get a lot more creative.
Sure.
Let me just...
This email, which is... It's a big email, but we've probably dragged it out longer than necessary.
No, I think it's good. It's spurring interesting conversation.
Okay, sure.
This is what we want.
Oh, we're at the end of it now anyway.
Yeah, so Kelsey says, anyways, I look forward to all that Season 2 has in store for you. Keep up the great work and may the power protect you. Sincerely, Kelsey. That's very nice.
As we're now 10 episodes into Season 2, I can say...
Yeah, it's ups and downs. Swings and roundabouts, as Mike would
Swings and
say.
roundabouts. Some of it's a swing, some of it's a roundabout.
Yeah. Enjoying the ongoing story arc, not enjoying...
Anything else. Let's go watch Welcome to Venus Island. Let's see how much of it Matt remembers.
Yep.
And we'll be back in a sec.
See you soon, guys.
Bye.
And we're back. That was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fun one. Like, it was crazy.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room first.
Yes.
Jason and Zach, while morphed, don't say anything.
Yes.
Okay. Here's the deal. First time this episode... Okay. Coming up in the future, those two and Trini leave the show. Spoilers, I know, but I think it happens. And it wasn't a very happy, like, it's time for us to go write us out of the show.
No, they left under...
The story that is told is they went to the producers and said, hey, we noticed we're getting paid nothing and this show's making you millions of dollars. Could we get paid some more? At which point they were immediately fired.
Yes.
So the first time this episode aired, those two Rangers had alternate lines of dialogue recorded by an uncredited voice actor, who was basically doing an impression of them.
Yep.
For whatever reason, in this episode, in all subsequent copies of this episode, those lines have been removed.
Okay, they've just taken them out.
They've just taken out the sound. They haven't taken out the head movements.
No.
So...
And to be honest, the episode doesn't suffer terribly. Like, I didn't miss anything.
I think it feels strange.
Yeah, it's definitely odd.
But, yeah, no, you can follow along pretty okay.
Yeah, I was very confused.
Yeah. This is also Tui Trang's last episode voicing Trini while morphed.
Right.
So So basically, because they recorded all those dialogue bits
Later.
in bunches after they'd recorded them,
Yeah.
where now, even though they don't go for quite a while still at this point, we're at the point where they didn't record any more ADR for the show,
Yep. Okay.
which is sad.
That is sad. Like, it's the...
We're starting to,
Yeah. The end of the era.
Yep.
It's heavy.
They
It
must
is a bit.
have gone on such terrible terms if they didn't even finish the episodes they were working on
Oh, it was, my understanding is they were fired, like,
immediately.
instantly
Like,
on the spot.
You're fired, leave the lot now, don't come back.
That's
basically.
so unreasonable.
I mean, they don't go for another 17 episodes.
Yeah.
Although,
Quite a few of those, they're not even actually in it all.
they don't. 12 episodes from now is when they stop being present for filming.
Yeah.
And then 5 episodes after that is when they stop pretending that they're there.
Yeah. There's a lot of, like,
Archive
shots of the
footage
backs of
and
people and... yeah.
Okay.
footage from previous episodes being reused, and yeah. It's coming up.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to Venus Island.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just different from regular episodes.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that.
Nearly good.
It was probably
Yeah.
my favourite that I've ever seen.
Wow, that's a...
Yeah.
Good
Like,
All it takes is one Judd Lynn. That's all it takes. And suddenly it feels like the show's on the up and up, even though 2 of the actors aren't there half the time.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
There's still some bizarre bits.
Oh, yeah, look, it's still an episode of Power Rangers. Let's go from the top.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we do that, I was just noticing, watching the opening credits again, and looking at that logo. Now, when we see that final shot of the Thunder Megas on the opening credits, the circle on its chest becomes the green circle in the Power Rangers logo,
Yep.
which I thought was really cool. And it got me thinking about the Power Rangers logo in general, because from about Zeo, we see the logo become something that it basically is for the next 20 years, just with the subtitles.
Yeah,
on
more or
now.
less.
But at the moment, it looks so 90s.
It does.
And it's not going to be that way for much longer, but I thought we'd take a moment to appreciate it
We're
while
starting
it's
to
young.
approach the end of an era, Matt.
Yeah,
You guys feeling nostalgic?
a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that cut that Kelsey did earlier is sort of...
It's weird to think about how iconic this team of Power Rangers is.
Yeah.
Like, the Green Ranger, it's episode 70, but there's easily been 25 that the Green Ranger wasn't in.
Yeah.
And he's only got a couple left to go.
Yeah.
These guys are starting to filter out, and they've only got 10 left to go.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like it's been ages, but it's not like the cast of Law and Order, who were on the same show for like 20 years.
Yes and no, but like, it has almost... Like, by the time those guys go properly, it'd be about 80 episodes.
Yes.
Which is like 4 normal American seasons.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like 50 normal British seasons.
And you've got emotional attachments to these particular characters, right?
I don't. I have no childhood emotional attachment to them.
Oh, right.
We're not going to get up to the characters who I know and love for years still at this point. My only attachment is through the last 70 episodes.
Right.
It's going to be sad.
Yeah, it's a process of letting go and grieving, then embracing the new.
I mean, look, I think it will help that one of the new Rangers is Matt's favourite Ranger of all time, and probably mine as well. And the other one of the others, is one that Matt hates so profoundly that I think we're going to get a lot of joy out of it on the show.
It sounds like it's going to be very entertaining.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward
I think
to.
we get the perfect spectrum, because we get the best Ranger, the 3 new Rangers, the best Ranger, the worst Ranger, and one that I have absolutely no feelings about whatsoever.
That's very
It's
exciting.
a wholesome palette right there.
Yeah, and it's everything you need.
Okay, so this kid,
Yeah.
I assume the kid's related to Trini?
So we're at the beach.
Yeah.
They're building sandcastles with a little girl.
It's Tommy, Kimberly, Trini, and
A little girl.
a little girl.
Called
Yeah.
Howie. Howie?
Hallie.
Oh, the whole time I thought her name was Howie.
Interesting.
Okay. Sure. The show never even pretends to explain who this kid is.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the same kid from the one with Pine Octopus, who got turned into a cardboard cutout.
No, I think it's a different. She just has a large extended family.
I mean, it doesn't... She never even says, like, my cousin, or...
She doesn't even seem that emotionally attached. Like, when things go pear-shaped, she isn't beside herself with worry.
It's a bit strange.
It might be just some kid they met at the beach.
And adopted immediately.
Yeah, okay, so she's telling some story about Sleeping Beauty and a prince. And you know what? For this show, it pays off far more than this show normally pays off.
That's right.
So I'm willing to give it to this show.
Yeah. There's a bit where Tommy says, "Oh, that's corny." And
Kimberly,
then
punches him in the
hits
face,
him.
basically.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah.
Don't be so cynical, Tommy.
Yeah, so Richie walks past.
Yeah!
It was nice to see Richie so soon.
Yeah. I was expecting it so soon and, so briefly.
And so awkwardly.
He basically walks past because he's also at the beach for some reason, smiles at Trini. Trini's like, yeah, I need to get me some of that.
Yeah.
And then he walks off.
Yeah. Trini just about doubles over in ecstasy. And he walks away.
He's not an unattractive fellow.
But I do also get the feeling that Trini doesn't, get a lot of action based on
No,
that.
that's probably fair.
Yeah, I feel like she's pinning all her hopes on that.
Yeah, well, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, we will see.
Maybe they go off into the sunset together.
To a
hope
peace
that.
conference.
That's where you go. Bulk and Skull have dressed up as putties.
Yeah.
It's the latest in their schemes to find out who the Power Rangers were.
Yep, so to draw out the putties, the Rangers, they've dressed themselves as putties, including the Z badge on their
Basically,
chest.
they're in, grey tracksuit pants, grey tracksuit tops,
Well, they're
and
in long johns, really.
paper plates with Zs on them on their chests.
So, basically the putty costume. Not far
Yeah,
off.
no, more or less. Slightly lower budget.
Very
but
slightly. Yeah.
Very slightly.
And so they're basically just doing the putty noise and tooling around, and they crush a kid's sandcastle. And he promptly goes...
Kicks Bulk in the shin,
Yeah.
and Bulk runs away.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Look, I guess when they started this whole, we're going to find out who the Power Rangers are, I thought, oh good, we'll see some different, exciting things. And I will, to the show's credit, we haven't seen them get goo on their face.
No, not
they
for a while.
haven't rolled down a hill or got stuck in a bin.
No.
The things that they're doing are not great and exciting,
But it's different.
but they've definitely done something different every episode.
Yep.
And good.
Yeah.
Fine, interesting.
We'll take it.
Shaking it up.
It
Are they
isn't...
in every single episode?
Yes, they are regulars on the show.
Yeah. So it's an improvement.
Yeah, it's not good, but definitely improving. And them dressing up as putties is a nice change to what we've had the last 5 or so episodes, which is we're going to get something of the Power Rangers and compare it to something of all the people we know.
We do get that at the end of the episode, though.
A little bit, yes, that's true. We'll talk about that one as well, because, oh boy, you thought this show was weird.
That is a doozy.
All right, so Lord Zed sends the putties down to kidnap Hallie
Yeah.
because...
No, the reason that they do something is because Lord Zed is offended by Bulk and Skull imitating putties. And Gola comes down and says, "You've insulted Lord Zed, this is retribution." So, Lord Zed is North Korea. And Bulk and Skull are Seth Rogen and James
Okay,
Franco.
but here's the thing, is that not a brilliant casting for Bulk and Skull?
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
They're a little old, it would be a bit creepy now, but...
That's fine. I think they'd pull it off. Seth Rogen, James Franco, Bulk and Skull.
Yep.
You heard it here first. But yeah, I saw the parallels. He gets offended by their mockery interpretation and then overreacts and causes some problems. So, yeah, that happens. When Golda comes down and snatches the girl, he drops a bottle that the Rangers find when they discover that Hallie's been kidnapped.
Yep.
And they open it up and fire roars out of the bottle.
Yeah, okay, so Goldar and Putties teleport down.
Yep.
Instantly kidnap the kid.
Yep.
Job done.
Yep.
Goldar holds up a bottle.
Yep.
And drops it.
Yep.
Very deliberately.
No, on accident.
No, Matt, he holds it out and he lets go of it.
That's how bad he is at things, Michael. He's so incompetent.
Anyway, so, they open it and a flaming Lord Zed's face appears in the sky and sears a message into the ground.
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
Yeah. If that's how Lord Zed sends all his messages, imagine if you're like, Lord Zed, are you going to be home for dinner? And a bottle drops from the sky and you open it and it just burns yes in an alien language into the floor.
I
got
hope
style.
that's, I hope that's the case.
He's got style.
Yeah, it's great.
And it makes him menacing.
Yeah,
you know?
it's really
He
good.
was really scary in this episode, actually.
Yeah.
I found
And
him.
he should be. You know?
So it leaves like an encoded in some other language message.
Yeah.
I guess that's just a language that Lord Zed speaks.
It's alien.
Alien needs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But something that Zordon does not read.
No, but can translate.
But they could have just showed it up to his face. Does he have eyes in the tube?
Yeah, he can see things.
So, like,
Yeah.
why do they need to scan it? Wait, I'm
Well,
jumping
I don't think.
ahead.
I think it's like, you know, if you have books that can help you translate an ancient language, but you can't necessarily read it straight
Yeah.
up. You know.
He doesn't read, he doesn't speak it, but he
okay.
has the resources necessary to translate it.
Yeah.
So these we later learn that these are Goldar's instructions.
Because he goes back to the palace, says he's got the kid. Lord Zed's happy, and then Lord Zed asks about the bottle with the instructions in it, and Goldar says, "Oh, I lost it in the fight." And Lord Zed says, "In the what?
In the battle.
You kidnapped a little girl and you lost it in the fight?"
I'm with Lord Zed here.
Yeah.
It's a terrible excuse. There wasn't even like a token putty fight with the Power Rangers,
No.
which we could say like, yeah, there was some confusion and it happened. When the Power Rangers get there, they teleport away instantly.
That's why I love this scene, because it like casts Goldar as incompetent as he actually is.
Yes.
And Lord Zed gets like absolutely baffled by his...
Justifiably confused and angry.
Yeah. Not just angry, it's like, how could you
Yeah,
let
no.
that happen?
Look, I also have a question. Lord Zed told Goldar the plan.
Yeah,
Like
but
he
then-
said, go kidnap the kid.
Yeah.
Why does he need written instructions?
Let me answer that question for you. Because Goldar is the sort of guy who drops bottles. You know, he's that stupid that he's going to forget the part the second he walks out the door.
Come on now, I'm sure he has some good qualities.
No.
He has a good voice.
He has wings.
No.
Anyway,
He's useless.
Yeah, his list of good qualities is not great.
Yeah.
He owns his own dungeon.
That's true. He has wings, doesn't use them.
Ever.
Doesn't he? No.
No.
They're
Okay,
just
so
aesthetic add-ons.
they've taken the kid to Venus Island.
Yeah.
Venus Island only exists when Lord Zed calls it forth.
Yes. Now you'll notice that Venus Island in long shots looks exactly like that island that had that magical...
The Island of Illusion
That's
with
right.
Quagmire,
That's
yes.
right. So it is just old Island of Illusion footage.
It is, yes.
Which is an island hanging in the sky, which gets a bit confusing later when we see the island, when the Rangers are on it, and it's surrounded by an ocean.
Okay, so here's the deal, right? Venus Island, it only exists when Lord Zed calls it forth.
Yep.
And the only way but they don't know where it is, right? I have questions, like, does he call it forth, can he call it forth on other planets?
Yep.
Like, could he call it forth on the moon?
Yep.
Anyway, at sunset, the trade winds blow to Venus Island.
Yeah, you know, the trade winds.
Trade winds are a real thing.
I know, but
Right.
they don't blow to Venus Island.
I mean, so can he only call it forth in places where the trade winds blow to?
No. It creates the reason that trade winds exist.
Is because of Venus Island.
That's right.
So there's no trade winds the rest of the time.
No. Well, no,
So
there
when,
is.
like, Christopher Columbus was discovering America, that was because Lord Zed had called forth Venus Island.
No, it's because he will have. As soon as you call Venus Island forth on a planet, it has trade winds, both back and forward in time.
This is wrinkling my brain.
So, like, if he put Venus Island on the moon,
It would suddenly have winds.
it would have had winds for all of history.
Forever.
Yeah. That's right.
That's an amazing level of power.
It's a good
That
island.
He can...
High quality island.
Okay, so look, long story short, Billy's got a weather balloon.
Yep.
And he's tied like a GPS thing to it.
Yep. He also has to stroke some maps on the wall just to make sure everything's alright.
Yep. And so they're going to let it go at sunset.
Yep.
And it's going to go follow the trade winds.
Yep.
And end up on the island. And they can follow the tracker.
Yep.
That makes sense.
And Zordon warns that they have to be quick about it because he feels that it's unstable. He doesn't know where it is.
No, but he knows it's
but he
getting
knows
unstable.
that it's becoming unstable,
And
so hurry
also,
up.
the kids on the island.
Yep.
Slowly being turned evil.
Yes.
By red mists.
Yeah.
And if the island sinks,
Yep.
she'll be lost forever.
Yes.
as an evil thing,
Yeah.
as an evil servant to Zordon. I mean, to Zed.
The episode definitely implies that if Lord Zed gets his way, Hallie will become one of his evil minions, which is a strange thing for him to want.
I mean, here's the deal, right? If she's like Trini's cousin,
Yeah.
losing her is not great for everyone.
Yes.
But it gives Lord Zed is an evil 9-year-old.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's...
I don't properly understand.
There's at least 6 or 7 years before that's an effective thing to have.
Yeah. Like, I understand the tactical advantage of having a hostage.
Yes.
It's not helped by her being evil, really.
Not really.
No.
Well, you know, it's a threat, though.
I also have another question. Like 3 weeks ago, Goldar turned Tommy evil in under 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He just went, bingo, bango, presto,
Yeah.
you're going to steal a magic sword for me. But a 9-year-old kid, there's a whole complicated...
Well, the 9-year-old kid has a much more pure soul than Tommy, who's like 49% evil, and only just takes that little bop over the edge.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
To find this island, they have to send up the weather balloon.
Yep.
At sunset.
Yep.
Very precise, because there's a moment where they have 5 seconds to make it happen, or all hope is lost.
Yep.
So Tommy takes Trini's hairband.
Yeah, because the clamp is not...
It's too heavy.
Yeah.
And it's one of those little themes that is just an interesting little extra bit in the episode that I don't think we'd see normally.
Yep.
It's just a bit of like an extra complication to a problem and a resolution that's been there the whole episode because she's had her hair...
Yep, up in a band.
Yeah, so that was cool. So they launch that up and it gives them coordinates to Venus Island.
Yep.
And they go there.
And video footage.
The coordinates to Venus Island, by the way, are 32 latitude, 66 longitude, which is Afghanistan. That's that's the middle of Afghanistan.
Wow. Okay. No ocean there?
Not immediately. Certainly no magical wizard islands.
Right. Now, presumably if he calls off Venus Island, Afghanistan is wiped off the map, replaced by a small ocean with the island in the middle of it.
Temporarily.
I guess.
So, yeah, definitely some genocide involved there. So we're on the island. Now, this is where I found it very interesting because I remembered from my childhood a tropical island filled with very realistic-looking Venus flytraps.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You didn't remember Los Angeles with some papier-mâché open Venus flytraps?
No.
Oh, well, that's what it is.
So, yeah, there's nostalgia coming back and punching me in the face, ruining my childhood. But it also demonstrates the creativity and imagination of children and how willing they are to do the rest of the work for the show.
This was a magical island.
Yeah, and I remembered, like, for real Venus flytraps, not...
Oh, no, they don't even move.
No, they just flap in the wind.
Do you think if children... Have they done, like, a react now to old Power Rangers?
Yes, very recently.
Oh, really? Because I was going to say, like, do you think kids now, because we're exposed to so many different kinds of
kids
visual
think
stimulus...
it looks like shit.
Yeah,
It does look like shit. They're not wrong.
It does, but, like, you know...
They weren't able to bring their creativity to it the way that I was.
No. These kids these days with their CGI Megazords and their footage that looks like it was shot this year.
Yeah.
So, the invincible flytrap.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I have another point.
Yeah.
Billy gets the location, looks at the map, and goes, oh, it's an island. So somehow it was on his map. There's just an island. If you go to a map...
Once again, I think that when he brings forth the island, it appears on maps as if it's always been there, you know. And then when it goes, it disappears as if it was never there.
You're doing a lot of work for this story.
We've done a lot of work for this show. So the invincible flytrap.
Yeah.
What a fucking horrifying monster.
I know. I was scared.
Imagine a man that has been engulfed by a Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
And is wearing it as a suit. Like, the join is all up the face and chest and down the arms and oh, Jesus.
There's not enough human in it to be
There's no
okay.
face.
There's no face.
And then the chest flaps open and it's just fleshy.
Fleshy centre. Yeah.
Oh, boy, I'm going to have nightmares
Just
about the
foul.
invincible flytrap.
And that voice.
Yeah, it's
Because
like...
it's high-pitched most of the time.
And then every now and then it'll be like...
This
Eat you.
Yeah. It's good. I love it.
It's a good monster in that it is pants-wettingly terrifying.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable.
So it opens its chest
Yeah.
and consumes everyone except Trini and Tommy.
Yeah.
At
That's
which point they
terrifying.
have to run away.
I must have blanked there. I was...
You missed a bit?
Well, or like, an action scene's happening, so I wasn't watching. I just missed it. I don't know.
You're going to miss a lot of this show. Certainly all the good
I think I was
bits.
still thinking about the flaps. Like, nothing should have
Story
trust.
of my life.
Oh, no.
Oh. Okay, so...
Trini and Tommy have to teleport back.
Yeah, because...
Tommy's too weak.
That's right.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's an ongoing problem.
Yeah. Literally, like 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah. So they have a bit of conversation about that.
Yep.
And then there's a bit where Trini says, that's it, I'm going to have to go and fight alone.
Yep.
This was a moment where I went, yes.
Yeah.
Because what I was really hoping for was like that famous bit from X-Men where Wolverine gets separated from the others and has to fight his way up.
Right,
through-
and just like kills the fuck out of like 30 guards.
That's right.
Yeah, no, Trini like single-handedly just punches her way through like a dozen putties.
Yeah.
And then just explodes the invincible Flytrap's head.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
That's what I wanted.
What we get is, okay, then Tommy volunteers
Yeah.
to take the kid's place, and they'll let the kid go and maybe the other Rangers, and Tommy will be evil, but he hasn't got any powers, so that's not really going to be that terrible.
Yeah.
And then we get a commercial break.
So he's all ready to sacrifice himself. Everyone does a goodbye. Like, even Alpha does, like, a respectful, like, handing of the helmet. Like, yeah. I even wrote down in my notes that it was happening.
No, it's not. We get an ad break, and the computer in the ad break has first decided to buy some Lego. It's rad. And also has decided that, heat is the weakness of the invincible Flytrap. Because, heat. Yeah, that's a weakness of plants and plant monsters.
It's slightly better than vanity, which is the weakness of a monster recently. So.
The Octophantom.
Yeah. Because
So,
they're octopuses.
If
They're so vain.
if the Rangers can generate heat inside the invincible Flytrap,
Yeah.
it'll have to spit them out.
Yeah.
So they go back to the island, and Tommy basically says, "Hey, Power Rangers, be hot." So their gloves start to glow.
Well, first of all, they're sitting inside the Venus flytrap, and we get one of those weird dialogueless bits.
They're doing like a hand action.
What were they doing? They were doing the Illuminati thing with the triangles.
What I thought was that they were like meditating to try and conserve like oxygen and keep themselves as safe as they could be until a solution was found.
Okay, the problem is Jason clearly has 3 lines in there
Yeah.
that we do not hear.
Yeah.
So
It's just them sitting for a while.
whatever is going on, we have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe it made more sense.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the Illuminati. No, I'm kidding.
But then they hear that sort of suggestion from Tommy, combine their power coins to charge up their fists, and then use their hot fists to punch their way out of this fleshy chamber that they're in.
Yep.
And effectively giving him heartburn
Yes.
is what he was screaming about.
Yes. So that happened. They escape.
Judd Lynn, I love you, but boy, this one could have used a second polish. All right.
Look,
yeah.
it's better than...
Oh,
other-
no, it's better. It's
Yeah.
definitely better.
So we'll take what we can get
Yep.
and try not to complain.
They escape.
Yep.
Power blaster.
Yep, they get the power blaster and blow up.
It turns out that invincible means can be destroyed by the same thing that destroys all the other monsters.
Not that invincible, yeah.
Vincible.
Yeah.
It's the Vincible Flytrap.
Pretty invincible.
So they go to the cave.
Well, first we cut to Lord Zed in the Moon, who
Yep.
gets frustrated. But then he says that those Power Rangers give me indigestion, so it's no wonder the Flytrap couldn't stomach them. Which is a pretty good
That's
line.
pretty
good. Like, when you have to do these lines about Lord Zed getting frustrated.
Yeah, no, at least
Like,
give it something.
That's definitely like a creative way to do that. So,
So he makes me... Oh, gosh.
hang in there, Michael.
He makes Venus Island sink.
Yes. Well, start to sink.
Yeah. What that means is the camera starts to shake and some polystyrene boulders start bouncing
That
places.
was
Yeah.
great.
So they wobble around the island until they find the cave.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretend staggering.
Yeah,
sort of walk.
staggering. See the cave where the Holly is trapped in red lightning. That effect is pretty cool, by the way. That
it's like a cage of red lightning.
Yeah.
So Tommy says, well, I'll go get her. And Trini says, you fucking moron.
Yeah.
That's literally exactly what he wants. We've come up with like 6 plans. Don't do that. Zach goes...
Yeah, so...
And Trini goes, oh yeah! And shoots it with her blaster.
So that was Michael gesticulating silently for podcast listeners, because this is the audio podcast.
Well, that's exactly what we just experienced, is them moving and no words coming out.
Yeah. So it's a bit confusing, but then Trini just blade blasts the cage.
And that solves the problem.
Tommy walks over and Holly goes, hey, it's a prince, which is a callback. So
At which point they all call him Tommy.
Yeah.
In front of the kid who had met Tommy 2 hours ago.
They're not great at being secret superheroes.
They're really genuinely terrible at it.
Yeah.
Which plays into the next scene.
Yes.
So Bulk and Skull are talking to Holly.
No. They're interrogating.
Yeah, they are. They're shining a flashlight in her face. They're actually like...
Trini is sitting there and letting this happen. 50 people are gathering around this little girl who just went through a traumatizing experience. They're shining lights in her eyes and shouting questions at her.
Okay, there's so many questions about this sequence. For some reason, she can describe the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says the green one had, like, long hair and the red one had, like, brown piercing eyes and broad shoulders, which I feel like Austin St. John maybe snuck into the script.
He looked super hot.
The hottest of all of them, and way cooler than the green one, guys. Definitely the coolest. And if he leaves this show, he should get lots of rad acting jobs. So she can somehow describe them.
Yeah.
Despite never having seen them.
It is confusing.
And also being not able to go, oh yeah, it's Tommy who was building a sandcastle with me.
Yeah.
If that wasn't weird enough, Bulk and Skull are relaying this information to Pierre, a French police sketch artist who is drawing the Power Rangers.
Sarah and I have recently been watching a lot of the Mighty Boosh.
Right.
Which is very surrealist and absurdist.
Yes.
And the way they just sort of pan over
to Pierre,
like a 17th century Frenchman.
He's got a floppy hat, and he's wearing a white shirt. If you said draw like a French sketch artist, this is the guy you'd end up with.
If you were racist.
Yes.
Yeah.
His name is Pierre.
It's so strange.
He's a very passionate artist as
of
well.
all the things that this show has done that are bizarre and inexplicable, most of the time they're connected to the weird space monsters.
Yeah.
This is just...
so strange.
So he's drawn a picture,
which
Bulk and Skull say, right, well, that'll be the Power Rangers.
They keep doing this thing where they get something they think is evidence of the Power Rangers. Don't look at it themselves.
Say to everyone, we're about to tell you who the Power Rangers
Gather around, we haven't checked this, but you should all look at this. And then they present it, which they do again. And it's a sketch of, like, some medieval people.
I think it's meant to be, like, from the girl's storybook.
Right.
With the, like, Sleeping Beauty.
Oh.
But one of the things looks like Lord Zed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like...
we don't get a good enough look at it that we can properly make it out.
No.
So the joke is a bit lost as well. It's odd.
It's definitely not a picture of the Power Rangers.
No, and Pierre starts
crying.
He's weeping uncontrollably.
But just like with emotion over how beautiful his work is.
Is that what it is?
Well, I mean,
that's what I thought at first, but no, I think he's just crying. Like he
so
seems to be an emotional wreck.
Bulk says to him, "You'll never work in this. You'll
No,
never
you'll never
draw
draw."
in this town again."
That's a funny line.
It's a good. It's just.
It's so strange.
It's
one of those things where if Power Rangers was this all the time, I would love it.
It would be this show, and that would be fine.
All the 50 people that were gathered around are laughing.
Yeah.
Like
this isn't the weirdest thing that's happened to them. I thought, upon seeing the Invincible Flytrap, that I would comfortably say, yeah, this was a weird episode with a weird monster.
Yeah.
And then I saw Pierre, and I was like...
just the way he's presented, because the camera just pans over, and then there's this 17th century Frenchman.
As though he's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
And like, of course Pierre, like...
You know, Pierre, the French illustrator who sits in the juice bar. He cries all the time.
I got...
Well, you know these creative types.
That's right. Artists, man. They're crazy.
I mean, I think the thing we can take away from it, this is not a bad episode.
No. It was very
definitely
enjoyable.
has some quirks.
Oh, it's super
But
weird.
Those quirks are like interesting enough
Yeah.
that you can kind of go, okay, that was something.
Yeah, well, it was different and interesting, which is better than, like...
Better than boring.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have had a few boring ones recently.
Yeah.
so-
Okay. Invincible Flytrap.
Yes.
Monster creature feature.
Finally, at least a top half creature.
Not at bottom 10,
No,
definitely.
absolutely.
Above Goldar,
Oh.
who performed so terribly
We need to
in
speak
this
about...
episode.
I think where's Goldar on the list at the
Goldar is
moment?
currently at 26, which is just slightly above halfway.
All right, we need to grab a scimitar and just cut the cable that is hanging him on this list and drop him down.
Okay, so let's talk Goldar first.
Yeah.
Is he now worse than Samurai Fan Man?
Yes.
Okay. Is he now worse than Giant? No.
No.
He's not. Is he worse than the Spitflower?
I would say yes.
Okay. Let's put him between the Spitflower and Dark Warrior.
All right, there you go, Goldar. You're done fucked up and you paid the price.
Ooh.
That's very low.
He was so useless.
Yeah. He actually was negatively useful in this episode.
I think maybe he needs to find a different line of work.
Yep.
I agree.
But he'd probably just be terrible at it. Okay, Invincible Flytrap.
Yeah, probably somewhere in the top 20, I'm guessing.
Okay, 20 is Lokar.
Okay.
Better than Lokar?
Maybe. Lokar's pretty cool. What do you think?
Madame Woe is 21. Would you be comfortable putting him in between those two?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's better than Madame Moro because the costume design is a bit more interesting.
Yep.
And probably a bit more effective than Madame Moro.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a very respectable position for a monster this season.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
For in quite a while, frankly.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's exciting. That was a good episode. It's getting me pumped. I'm hoping we see some more decent episodes in the future.
Even some acceptable episodes would be nice.
We take it, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be back next week.
Yep.
The episode 71.
That's right.
Which is called...
Is it orchestral maneuvers in the
No,
park?
Orchestral Maneuvers in the Park isn't for a while. This is the Song of Guitardo.
Oh, that's right. I'm excited for the song of Guitardo.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
this a guitar themed
I mean,
beast?
It has to be.
I
sure.
want to say it has to be. All right, we better wrap it up there because my laptop's about to die.
All right, we'll see you guys next
next week.
Bye.
Thanks, Sarah.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Bye, guys.